And
Boom.
we should be live now. Well, may as well get the music on. There we go.
What music are you playing?
Celebrate good times. You won't be able to hear it, but I can.
Oh.
D plus, Emmanuel quickly.
We already have three watching.
Oh yeah, I'm not even one of them. Usually one of them. Alrighty. Celebrate good times, come on. Now. Celebrate good times, come on. Knicks win by like 20 again? Good win tonight. What is up, Knicks fans? What is up? How we doing?
Great to see when you see Kevin Knox, Theo Pinson,
Yes,
Austin Rivers
sir.
in the game. It's a good day.
We love
It's
it.
a good day.
That's good stuff. Saturday night Knicks basketball. Woo! All right.
So,
Let's get a little bit into the podcasting part. What's good? How we doing, Zach? See, you got your camera
doing good,
on
we're doing
today.
good. We back.
Phenomenal.
We have it on today.
Yes, sir. And we got Anthony
game.
here tonight. You know. Yes, sir. That's good to see. Well, I am for a reason starting the stream off with the D plus Emmanuel quickly draft grade. Let's be honest, this kid steal the draft. Don't even act anymore. It's a joke at this point.
Peyton
You know?
Richard? No.
Nah, what a joke.
Come on.
You say Peyton
It's not
Richard?
even
Peyton?
Is that even his name?
No, it's Peyton Pritchard.
Ooh, okay, who cares?
He's the next
It's
Tyler
all
Hero,
quickly.
though. I mean, they're both the next Tyler
We're
Hero.
not Celtics
Everyone
fans.
is
We
Tyler
don't
Hero.
need to know his name.
No, we don't need it.
We Knick fan.
Yeah, Emmanuel
Tyler
quickly,
Hero.
though. Exactly. Let's pull up the ESPN. I was very ill-prepared, but we're still here. Oh, shoot. Top events. I want to see the NBA. Oh, the Warriors are getting destroyed. Great to see.
Not surprised.
Let us see. Yeah, John Wall had a good night. But we don't talk about that anymore. We gotta talk about Emmanuel quickly. Again,
Guy was perfect.
only 21 minutes. What a joke.
He still performs, it doesn't matter.
Tom Thibodeau needs to
performed.
do his job and start this man.
He's
I don't
started.
care if he's some sort of bench presence and whatnot. I don't understand that at all. Also, if anyone's watching, you see that Obi lob at the end of the game? My God.
That was nice.
That was different.
That was beautiful.
Hey, he's one of the most athletic players in the draft. Whether or not he is super skilled when it comes to the NBA level, I don't know about that, but like, that dude can fly. My God. Got
He's got
D-Rose.
amazing vertical.
D-Rose scored over 14 tonight. First game as a Knick that he's done that. Good to see. Anthony, you don't watch many Knick games, do you?
No.
No. What's your insight on Derrick Rose? What you think about him?
He's washed.
He's washed?
He's
Disrespect.
to a degree.
A waste
But-
of money.
Agree. Our first
Waste of
game.
money. We didn't give him any. We didn't pay anything.
No, we didn't pay anything. We actually almost broke even because he's on a cheap deal. DSJ was on a cheap deal. Gave up that second round pick.
Still a waste of money.
RJ Barrett, bad game again. Didn't matter though. He's had bad games, the past few games.
RJ who?
RJ Barrett.
Emmanuel quickly is the
He's
franchise.
not been great.
I don't know. I mean, he's a good defender when he's out there, but dude's got to pick it up. On the offensive end, it ain't good.
Offensive the man tonight, so can't hate on him tonight at least. If he costs games, then yeah.
Yeah.
Tonight everybody performed well. Besides his offense wasn't great, but everybody else's was, so it didn't matter.
Yeah. I mean, like Julius Randle played really good. He had that halftime buzzer beater. That was clean. He didn't even have to play. Usually this dude's playing 40 minutes a night. Only 33 tonight. Probably could have cut that down a little bit, though, don't you think?
Yeah.
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 That's why we brought
we didn't
Theo
get play
in,
him.
Rivers in.
Obi had 11 points tonight. That was quiet,
Yeah.
11 points. He had a
Stepped up
block.
on offense.
Yeah.
Cared.
15 minutes, 11 points. Great to see. He
Took
should
a
have
lot
played
of
more.
threes.
Yeah. He only
Saw
had
him
one,
make
though.
his last one, thankfully, because
Yeah.
the other ones were a little scary. They
Yeah.
were a little overshot. They were not nice. But
Could have been better.
finished off with a make. That's all that matters.
Exactly.
Really. So, great game for him. Finally seeing him step up on the offensive
Hey,
side.
Nerlens Noel started tonight. Mitch Robinson broke his hand, if anyone didn't know that.
Got to owe him an apology. I did not. Last night, I gave him a bad take. I said he wouldn't be catching many lobs. Caught like 3 tonight.
I didn't
So-
understand that take. I don't know, because their defense wasn't there. The Rockets.
Mitch is a big man, so it's easy to get him lobs. That's his game. I didn't know Nerlens was like it. I think Nerlens like 6'9", which is tall, obviously, but I didn't expect the lob game. We saw him miss one, which was like, but he got everything else. So
Yes, sir.
it was nice to see that. And the defense wasn't great in the paint, so we took advantage of it, which is nice to see.
Rivers is gone.
Austin Rivers, he played his garbage minutes tonight, his 2 minutes. He let the shot clock wind down, got a turnover. Good to see. Oh, that's sweet of them. They didn't even count the turnover. Wow. What nice people.
All because of Derrick Rose, the washed player.
Derrick Rose is not washed. The dude had 16, 3, and 1 tonight on 23
Why do
minutes.
you not like Derrick Rose?
Yeah, what's up? What's this
Seems
Derrick
like
Rose
you got
beef
a big
about?
hatred to
He didn't
Derrick
want
Rose.
to be with us after being traded. What makes him worthy enough to be in New York again?
I did say that, but I guess it really was that he was just more upset of leaving Chicago than he was of being a Knick.
Yeah, he was
Doesn't matter.
never upset about being a
It was an
Knick.
emotional thing to leave
Yeah.
Chicago. Didn't he grow up in Chicago?
Yeah,
Bulls
he
fan?
grew up in Chicago.
He was the
Jordan.
hometown guy, won an MVP. It was like his dream. He's living the dream. So
He was looking up to the second best player in the NBA ever. Michael Jordan, LeBron's the best.
oh, LeBron's the GOAT.
Oh,
Yeah.
get out of here. Two bad takes. Two bad takes.
He
First
just said
time
Derrick
on the
Rose is
post
washed
game.
and then just called
First time on the
LeBron
post
James
game,
the
this
GOAT.
dude just called LeBron the GOAT.
You know what I don't get though?
What?
Hear me out. It's always Kobe, LeBron, MJ. Where's Wilt in the talks? Where's Kareem?
No, they get
Where's all these-
disrespected.
All these all-time
They
players.
get disrespected by people like you, though.
We're gonna count
Oh.
Walt.
Give him these
Wilt.
trash
Did you
takes.
say Chamberlain? Yeah.
Yeah, Will Chamberlain
No.
just leads the NBA.
Yeah, the guy played in the '60s where everybody was trash. So
So
He's still,
Gotta
though.
give-
He's
Hey.
there.
he just put up stats, but I don't know.
that's all you need.
He was literally the only player it felt like in that generation that was good at basketball. So,
That's why he's the leading scorer, and no one's ever gonna pass him.
well, that's Kareem.
No, it's
That's not
Kareem.
Wilt.
See, this is what we're
That's not
talking
Wilt.
about, Anthony.
Yeah. What? Kareem's number one.
Oh, it's Will.
No,
Can you look that up just so?
he's not there. He's not.
I know it's right, but I just want you to know. He's just a little off.
We just trying to let you know.
Yeah, we need you.
31,000. He's in the 30,000 club, but he's not there. Like,
All right, well then, Kareem is the best player in the NBA.
oh my God. He just changed his take based on points. No defense,
But
no
hear
nothing,
me out.
just points.
Julius Randle
Oh
is
my
having
God.
that kind of season.
All right,
He's
you know
getting
what?
there.
Let's go off topic. Let's talk something else. Let's talk about shooting
He's just here to make
percentages.
bad takes.
Let's talk about shooting percentages tonight.
Team.
You just said Julius Randle, Wilt Chamberlain on the same level, so we'll talk about that later, Anthony. If you're even here later, that is questionable at this point.
No, he'll be here.
I hope so. 8 for 43, one of the better 3-point shooting teams in the NBA, the Houston Rockets. Good
was
stuff.
ugly.
Hey, best 3-point defense in the league. I'm just saying.
He
This
did play
tonight,
better.
way better 3-point defense. So good.
I can say that.
Yeah.
Yes. I feel like we got a lot lucky. Like the Wizards missed a lot of just open shots. Westbrook, like usual, missed. Literally, he had open shots. Every single shot was open. He just missed every single. I think he took 4 of them, missed them all. So, I feel like we play a lot better defense from the 3. We usually get lucky, but tonight I cannot say that. I felt like we played great defense. So nice to see that.
I know you started watching a little bit later, Anthony. I know you weren't totally here for the whole thing, but you got any takes on the defense? Because we've been one of the best defenses in the NBA this entire year. So
Yeah, but yeah, we're still under 500. It makes no sense to be honest. But you just gotta step up the offense. Show the people that our offense is better than our defense, and become the best team in the NBA.
I will say, tonight we did look like a Golden State Warriors out there, the prime Golden State Warriors.
Yeah.
121 points. That's nuts. We scored. We almost outdid the Rockets every quarter of this game, except the third. It's pretty even, though. 28-24 in the third quarter. And then, obviously, every other quarter we beat them out by 5-10 points. So, us scoring 121 tonight. What is our season average? Like 98 points a game?
Is it?
It's
it
something.
under 100?
It's
It's
pretty
gotta be
low.
under 100.
But
Yeah.
then again, our defensive possession rating is like 99. So we're right at that 500 mark statistically, but we're not actually there. But we held them to 99, which is, if I'm correct, our average. So that's exactly what we need to do every game. If we just play good defense like that, then we got this. What's his name? Taj Gibson showed out. He looked great. Without Mitch.
We need that. He's
Our
gonna
average is 102.
It's 102. We must have got bumped up.
be. So it is a.
Yeah.
But it's still the worst.
It's under,
in the
though.
league.
Then they got under our average then.
It is the worst in the league.
Our points per game average or our defensive rating?
Our points per game.
Points per game. Well, we went way over that tonight. I'll take that.
That's impressive.
19.
102 is the worst.
Yeah.
That was a lot of scoring.
I feel like the Pistons should be below that. Just because they're the Pistons.
Well,
That's
I
about-
guess the Wizards.
Hey, what's our defensive rating? Defensive rating NBA. I don't even know if that'll show up. Basketball Reference year-by-year leaders for
We're the
defense. Oh, it's
first.
singularity.
We're the first.
We're the first. Yeah.
Yeah.
Defensive efficiency.
We only keep teams to 103 points per game.
Yep, that's exactly what I expected. Because I knew it was like a 1 point difference. So we average 102, we give up 103. That's why we're at the 500 mark. But we held them under our average tonight. And that had a lot to do with the fact that they're injured too. They didn't have Victor tonight. They didn't have Christian Wood. But we didn't have Mitch. So I'd say it was a fair enough matchup to where they just should have played better.
Yeah, their bench was just
Yeah.
awful.
Sterling Brown was good.
That.
Sterling Brown, 3 for 5 from 3. But that's their only good bench piece tonight. You're right. They had no one else. Like Ben McLemore needs to show out. David
Look at
Nwaba.
House.
Yeah, Daniel House. That was embarrassing. Bad
Isn't he
game.
supposed to be their number one guy off the bench?
Yeah.
Isn't he
Oh,
also the
great.
guy who got caught with a hooker in the bubble?
Nwaba? Or who?
Daniel House Jr.
What?
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I remember that actually. Yeah,
Yes, sir.
he broke the bubble rules. He invited a lady, and he was married. He's married too.
Man,
Not a good look.
Those kinds of balls to do that, and you're trash in the NBA. Get out of here.
Hey, talk your trash, Anthony.
We do.
I'll score
Eric
more.
Gordon. Okay, now see this is where the takes get a little offhand. It's out of
I'll
hand.
definitely score more than 0 points in the NBA.
I don't know about that one. That's
Over?
tough.
Over 2.
Over 2?
Yeah.
That's tough.
I'll be like Quinn Cook.
Quinn Cook. Okay.
Yes.
He's 6 feet.
Yeah, I'm
He's
maybe
one guy.
We got Eric Gordon tonight. I'm gonna forget exactly what Anthony said. He said nothing there. 8 for 9 from inside the 3-point line, but he missed. Oh no, what 8 for 10? He made 1 3. Yeah. So, what am I saying? I don't know.
Wait, what do you?
Eric Gordon
It's
had
like 1 for
24
7.
points, but he went 1 for 7 from 3.
1 for 7. Yeah.
Right. He had a bad game from the 3, which is not an Eric Gordon type of game because you know Eric Gordon. Wasn't he a 3-point champion?
You won it 1 year.
Wow.
I don't remember what year.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what
It was-
year. He
it's
just
like
won
the
it.
last- Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
John Wall, though, he showed out. That dude looked nice. He was on my fantasy team for a while.
He started to carry. They came back a little bit, but it
Yeah.
wasn't enough.
Cousins had a
He
good
was-
game.
He was carrying.
Cousins did.
Yeah.
He chucked up an early 3-pointer. I don't know why he did that. Jason Tate didn't have a good game, though. 4 for 10, 40% from the field. Not something to brag about. 25 from 3. Damn, the dude had a negative 24 plus minus. That's
Oh.
crazy.
that Julius?
Jason
These
Tate.
guys,
That was small forward. He played small
must
forward.
be guarding Julius sometimes.
RJ's guy.
Worse, right?
Huh? Yeah, minus is bad. It's not good to have.
Probably some switches.
Yeah.
Because RJ didn't score, so.
Yeah, RJ, he's not been an offensive threat these last. This was his game to have like 20 points, if anything. I know the Rockets, they're supposed to be a good defensive team and all, but he missed a lot of easy shots.
Hey,
Lots of them.
look at it this way. Everyone on our team went plus 1 at least.
Oh, yeah, that's good to see. How about Alfred Payton?
Who was that?
Alfred Payton had a +1. Look at that.
Such a god on the team.
Damn, D-Rose had +18, Quickly +17, Burks +19. That makes sense. He was out there. He was out there to play tonight. But 1 for 7 though, that's trash. What do you mean? He's just a good defender tonight. Yeah. I gotta show this. For those who didn't see it, they have to see it. I'm seeing a lot of Bleacher Report stuff about it, but I retweeted it just so I had it. Look at this. This is lob. I don't know if I'm allowed. Damn! He can jump. I mean, of course, it was in garbage minutes, but he can jump.
Hey, that's when guys, that happens. Makes sense.
What I don't understand is why we're playing Alex Burke over Austin Rivers.
Well, here's what I can say about that. Okay? Just because you're wondering. Alec Burks plays defense, and he passes the ball. Austin Rivers does not do either of those things. So, Austin Rivers is I get something about
clutch god.
Yeah, that's why he plays in the fourth quarter sometimes when he plays. Like, he had 2 good games this entire year, Anthony. He had a game versus Utah where he was really clutch. He just was unstoppable. Pretty much like something took over his body, and like a demon took over his body, started playing crazy. But after that, not much happened. He just didn't keep up on the defensive end, lack of effort. Clearly in practice he hasn't been playing well because Tibbs is a practice player where he plays you like 4 hours in practice and then he decides on the starting lineup.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and obviously he just hasn't been showing up.
You gotta think about the bench unit. It would be Derrick Rose and Quickly, and then you add Austin Rivers. That's just another guard. It just doesn't make sense.
Just doesn't work.
You have to be guarding. You have to put Burks at the 3.
Also,
you can't just put one of them at the 3.
You know, we talked about it last night, but it's good to have a third head in on this. We're talking about Leon Rose said he wanted to make a blockbuster deal at some point. Not sure if that's going to be an off-season thing or if that'll be like a trade deadline thing. But you know, Knox and Frank, they're still around because of that. That's why we haven't traded them yet. So Anthony, me and Zach, we came up with some trade scenarios last night. All right. Bradley Beal. You think he's going to be available? You think there's a chance at that?
Coming to the Knicks?
Yeah.
No.
Trade, though. Through trade.
Should we give him our trade?
Where he has no say in it?
Yeah. Yeah. Where he has absolutely no choice.
Like the Derrick Rose type of trade from out of Chicago.
My goodness.
Type of trade?
Yes.
Yeah, then possibly.
Okay.
40%.
The Knicks, we've moved back up to the 8th seed, it looks like. Actually, wait. I see we're 12 and 15, but are we 13 and 15 now?
Yeah.
Great. Okay. Well, we have a solid playoff spot right now. That is if we beat the Hawks tomorrow. Right?
Hawks
or Monday.
Have they been playing well?
Nah, the Hawks have not been playing well. No.
The Hawks are garbage.
See the talent they have on the roster.
The Wizards have officially fallen to the worst. They fell to the worst in the league.
Trae Young scored 15 points tonight. He went 3 for 9, 9 for 11. He didn't shoot any 3-pointers at all. He had 14 assists though.
Traded him from my fantasy team. He would have had a good fantasy game though. 14 assists. It's 28 points off assists right there.
Clint Capella obviously is scoring the most points on the team, 24. It's kind of sad. Can't be doing that.
That's true. You don't expect him to be the number 1 scorer on that team.
I think this is the trade we came up with.
How does Gallinari had a minus 20
this it, Zach?
plus minus, but scored 20 points?
This is the trade we came up with?
Yeah, that's true.
Well, what do you think about this, Anthony? RJ Barrett, Frank, and Obi, and our next 2 years of first-round picks, this year and next year, for Bradley Beal. Would you do that?
No.
No, you wouldn't do that? Why?
Bradley Beal is a franchise player. He's just way too good.
They're not winning anyway with him. So,
if the Wizards said they're accepting trades, this is a fully hypothetical situation.
Yeah.
Would you, as the Wizards GM, accept that deal? Because they're not working. They're the worst team in the league. Russell Westbrook is washed. What are you going to do?
You have to rebuild.
Rebuild, right?
So, if we're talking about a rebuild deal, and then think about all the contenders in the NBA, they've already made big trades and don't have any more first-round picks to give up. So.
It's a possible.
You may even have to give up. Yeah,
I
keep
don't
going.
think they'll consider Bradley Beal as touchable. I feel like they'll find another key piece and a bunch of depth instead, rather than a bunch of rookies.
Well, I don't want to put you on the spot if you don't know what yet, but like, what type of trade would you think that they would make? Like, with what sort of team?
I think they. This is just like completely hypothetical, but
yeah.
I think like say if we had to put it into like some sort of trade, like maybe like a Gordon Hayward type of player or somewhere around that kind of skill set, and then a bunch of depth around it. So hypothetically, Gordon Hayward was on the Knicks. I think they'd do Gordon Hayward and then Frank and Obi, with like maybe a first round and a second round.
So, if you decided you wanted, if you're the Wizards, do you throw Julius Randle in the deal to make it work?
I would.
You would throw Julius Randle in that deal, but would you replace someone?
Yeah, no, I would just get rid. I would do like Julius Randle and maybe like RJ for Beal.
I see your angle, but to counter it, I would say if you're rebuilding, you're gonna want
if
the
you're
youngest piece
rebuilding-
possible.
If you're rebuilding, then yes, but
Right.
if you're trying to find another franchise player or another key player that's close to the skill set, then yeah, you'll do that trade. But if you're trying to rebuild, then you're gonna go for young players.
Yeah, because I know these picks that we got, they're pretty valuable, right? Like if I'm the Wizards, I'm not even just asking for 2. I'm asking for 3. I'm asking for the Dallas pick. I'm asking for the next 2 years of your picks. I'm asking for your 8th overall pick. Probably asking for quickly. Doesn't mean you'll get them.
I think they won't ask for Frank, and I think they just ask for RJ, OB, and then maybe like 3-4 pick.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I think that's definitely a possibility. I could definitely see that happening. Now, that is if Beal is available. I've heard plenty of times Bradley Beal doesn't want out of Washington, this, that, and the other thing. But at the end of the day, what's best for the team? Because Blake Griffin, he signed that max deal with the Clippers. He said, I want to be here for the rest of my career. And they said, okay, I'd love to have you. Because they would. That makes sense, sure. But if it's in the best interest of the business, they trade him away. This is, I think it's going to be a similar thing with the Bradley Beal situation, where Bradley Beal will eventually be traded. Maybe not to the Knicks, maybe to some other team, I don't know. It just depends who offers the best deal. But if the Knicks offered this right now, and they maybe had to throw in another pick, like a Dallas pick, this deal's getting done. That's what I'm thinking. If I'm the Wizards GM, I'm taking it.
Especially if the Dallas pick goes up in the trade.
Yeah.
Or in the draft because of how bad they're doing.
Dallas has not been promising. And even if they
mid first, I think it's a good valuable pick that would make total sense for them to want.
Mm-hmm.
Get a valuable asset there in mid first.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like this would be a perfect place to rebuild, like we said last night. They need a rebuild because clearly it's not working. They've had Bill for so long, so I feel like this would be a perfect spot for RJ to try and start and make something, which he's already doing in New York. He's starting something. He's getting a ton of minutes, but I feel like it would just be perfect for that franchise to have a guy like him to try and rebuild around. And Opie, he's got a lot of time left to be good. So I feel like it makes total sense. And we can't give up Randle. It just makes no sense.
Yeah, if we're trying to build around Beal, Randle's a perfect piece for him. Because you're keeping Mitch, you're keeping Nerlens, you're keeping Quickly. You still have DeRozan on the roster. Austin Rivers will slide in where RJ was, as a backup, that is. I mean, you're going to have a fine team. You're not even playing Frank right now. And I would also argue that if this is going to be for Beal, it's going to be a huge trade, okay? Because don't expect it to be some sort of small deal. Like, we may have to throw in Kevin Knox. Like, don't expect them to just ask for 3 young players. They're going to try and ask for, 5 young players and picks. Doesn't mean they'll get it, but that's what they'll ask for. Because this guy, the top leading scorer in the league right now, 33 points a game, okay? The dude barely rests, and when he does, the team loses by 20, 30 points. And they lost by 20 to us last night without him. So they clearly are they have a lack of offense without him. If the Knicks can make this happen, regardless, I don't really care what you have to give up to get him, but just make sure that you have enough pieces left to where it's not just Bradley Beal. Because if it's just Bradley Beal, it's the same exact Washington team. It's just you're moving Bradley Beal to the Knicks, putting him in a different jersey. Just make the right deal. Give up picks if you have to. I know that's not the whole rebuilding idea. But if Leon Rose really does have a trick up his sleeve, which I think he does, I think this is maybe a deal that we'll throw out there.
Yeah.
There's a chance. We also talked about, who's the other guy? Who's the other guy?
We talked about Zach LaVine.
Zach LaVine, right. We'd have to give up less for him.
I feel like he'd be a better player for our team.
For our team?
Just because it's a lot more cheaper for him,
Mm-hmm.
trading wise. So we get to keep a little more, maybe more of our picks or more of our young assets that we can use to build our team off of, plus getting an all-star level guard on our team. Maybe not as good as Beal, but somewhat in that like skill set area is perfect for our team, especially.
You know, I'd like to get your insight if you want, Anthony. Like, what trade would you throw together for Zach LaVine? Because this dude, regardless, he's on a 1-year deal. He's going to be a free agent next year, I think. Right?
No, I think he's got 2.
2. Okay. He's got some sort of deal. It's very cheap. It's $20 million a year about for Zach LaVine, which is a big time player. What would you give up for him? Because they're going to want young assets. They're giving up Zach LaVine.
Mm-hmm. Honestly,
because they got Patrick Williams, they got Laurie, so it wouldn't make sense to throw Obi in, you know. But me and Zach talked about probably having to go up RJ. You'd probably have to. As much as the Knicks wouldn't want to, you'd have to give up RJ. He's just the piece that fits in every deal right now, regardless of how good he is. And then probably a pick. I don't think you can get much more for that if you're the Bulls. I don't trade your first-round pick this year and Zach LaVine or an RJ for Zach LaVine. I don't know what Zach thinks of that. I'd love to hear your thoughts here, Zach. But that's what I would give up personally.
I feel like we got to give it more than that. I don't know if that's enough.
Well, what do you
propose? Well, if they want to keep LaVine, if that's what they see in their future, because they have a lot of pieces. So depends if they want to keep LaVine or not. If they don't if they're just saying, yeah, we're not going to re-sign him, I think that makes sense. But it just depends what the Bulls are going to do. Are they really going to trade him because they don't see him in their future? Or do they want to re-sign him and they want to keep him? So I think that's all. I think they got to give up a lot more if the Bulls are like, we do not want to trade this guy. We were looking to re-sign him, but we'll listen. We'll see what we can find. So that's all. That's all I'm going to say on that.
No, I agree with you. I think that if they want to re-sign him and if he wants to re-sign with them, the asking price is just so much higher. But you have to also think, if Zach LaVine wants out, which I think he will at some point, I don't think this whole Chicago thing is going to work out. I just feel like it never has. Not with Zach LaVine personally, but I feel like Chicago as a franchise, and I know this is so stereotypical because, sure, they had some good years in the 90s when they had Jordan, but nothing else past that has worked out. They've had good teams that have never gone all the way. And if you finally want to make a move and you want to build, then Zach LaVine may be the piece you have to give up for that. Although Zach LaVine, he right now is in his prime. He's young. He had that torn ACL a few years ago, but he recovered just fine from it. I see them asking for RJ and a pick. That's just what I see, though. I don't know.
I see RJ Knox in a pick.
RJ Knox in a pick?
Yeah, and
I think that's the
throw
most.
in, Zach LaVine and a bench piece on their team.
Right, like Tomas Satoransky or something. Just throw him in.
Yeah, and I've seen rumors go around about having Zach LaVine traded for Julius Randle and some picks. A lot of people have been saying that.
I don't know. I don't know about that. Because I just feel like with the plethora of power forwards that they already have, why would they want Julius Randle? As much as he's been playing at an all-star level, don't get me wrong. If you're Chicago, the trade you would want to do is Lauri Markkanen and something else for Julius Randle, right? Yeah. I don't see why you would give up Zach LaVine for him, especially because they have Thaddeus Young, who's legit, just drafted Patrick Williams, who's a Draymond Green type of fit for them. He plays center, he plays power forward, whatnot. He reminds me, you know what Patrick Williams reminds me of? He reminds me of Wendell Carter, who they actually have on their team. Yeah. He's a small ball center power forward that gives you offense, but he's athletic. That sort of thing. They just like guys like that. Now, I don't think we'd be making any deals with the Bulls anytime soon. I don't see it happening, but if we can make a deal for Beal, who on this trending player is being traded is number 3. We got, Kemba Walker, Victor Oladipo, I've heard. Lonzo, I don't see him being traded to the Knicks anymore. But just throwing it out there because I'm interested, I'm curious. Would you or would you not trade for Victor Oladipo? At the price, that is. What would you have to give up?
Not a fan of him.
Not a fan of him?
No.
I agree. I wouldn't do it. I just don't think it makes sense. I don't think he fits this team, especially if it means RJ moves to small forward and whatnot. Maybe, but then who do you have to give up? Like, you giving up Knox, giving up Frank, are you giving up more? Picks?
Yeah, I don't see it.
I don't know. I saw a Google article. Kemba Walker, potentially. What would you think about that? He's not working out with the Celtics right now.
Makes no sense.
I don't think it makes sense because we have a lot of guards on our team.
Exactly.
But if we were to, like, trade away our guards and replace, possibly, but I don't really see it.
Yeah.
Why would they want to do that? Why would the Celtics
Kemba Walker, in my personal opinion, I think he's going downhill from now. I don't think he's in his prime anymore.
Yeah, I agree. Got hurt in the bubble. Never really came back 100%, not yet. Maybe he'll be there. But
we see Jaylen Brown going up. We see Tatum going up. So that could affect it too. I think he's still scoring 20 though.
No, but it's more of the on-ball defense. It's the in-game stuff. It's not always about the scoring efficiency. And I knew that this contract would eventually be bad. What is he, 31 now? He's got to be in his 30s, right?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
He's probably young 30s.
He's got another 2 or 3 years, no, 2 probably, left on his deal. I mean, we're talking about a max contract player in 2 years. Is he really going to be that great for the Celtics, who will have a prime Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum?
Definitely not.
Making him a move now may be the best option. Now, I also heard, and I'm going to throw this up because it has to be done. J.J. Redick said if he is traded, he requests to be traded to either the Nets or the Knicks. So, for whatever reason, he wants to go there. Would you, not would you, but if you had to make a trade for J.J. Redick, because the Knicks are always looking for shooters. I know he's had a down year, but they're always looking for shooters. Would you make a deal surrounding more of a young player if it meant that the Pelicans had to give up young assets? Like, if hypothetically, if they say, Kira Lewis Jr., you've been amazing, you've been a good rookie to us, but we have to, you know what am I saying? They would never trade Kira Lewis Jr. I'm just ranting here.
If it's just J.J. Redick, Kevin Knox, that's it.
Kevin Knox for J.J. Redick, you do that?
To do anything else, yeah. Maybe less.
I would give less. I'd give a second-round pick.
What, Frank Ntilikina? Who wants Frank? No, nobody wants Frank Ntilikina.
I think it'd be acceptable to do a second-round pick from next year. I don't want to do it, but I think that's what they would ask for. J.J. Redick, he's been shooting.
That's just a free trade for. We're getting him for free.
No, 100%.
If it's just a dump off of JJ, then fine.
Yeah.
I just don't know how much they value JJ Redick then.
Exactly.
Because I don't see it, and doesn't really fit, I guess, our team right now. Because then that just kicks off another guy at the rotation if we bring him in. So does that mean Alec Burks is gone? Maybe. Because shooter for shooter.
Well, what I would say is that J.J. Redick, if you want to look at his percentages, I think you'll be surprised. I genuinely do. He's averaging 8 a game. What am I hearing? I think I'm hearing Paul Pierce on my ESPN.
Oh, you're on the ESPN.
Oh, wait. Someone zoomed in so much. There you are, Paul.
Yeah.
Paul Pierce, best NBA player.
This is a mess. ESPN is a mess. Paused. Alright. This year. Alright, I'm getting off ESPN. They be doing too much with these ads. But I'll just tell you, I think from what I heard, he's just not having a good year. He's
36.
He's getting older. It happens.
He's a shooter though, so
yeah.
He shouldn't lose. It doesn't matter how much of athleticism he has. He's still able to shoot.
I'm sorry. I don't know what's going on with ESPN.
Here,
Alright, I'll show you here. Okay, I got it. Regular season. They're not showing me. Yeah, he's shooting right around 36%, but then again, he's also shooting 36% from the field. So he's only shooting 3-pointers at this point in his career. But is that what we want? Is that what we need? It's a good question.
You always like shooters, but depends if we don't really have a guy that could just shoot. So
yeah,
just completely change our game plan. It feels like we just have a bunch of guys that can shoot, but have the ability to drive like quickly and Burks. So
all right,
we have to just completely change our game plan. Just have a spot of shooter when he's on the floor.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't necessarily know if we would make that trade, but I think it's something to point out. I wanna just point it out. If we're done making trades this season, I'm fine with it. Don't think because we're talking about it on the podcast, just having a normal conversation, doesn't mean we actually think it'll happen. Okay, just throwing out the hypotheticals and stuff, right? But Knicks are currently setting 7th in the East. Great to see. But like I said, we do play the Hawks. What is it, Monday, right? And they're sitting like 9th or 8th, so they could easily just bump us.
But I have confidence that we'll win.
I do too. I think they've been playing sloppy. Clint Capella has been the only bright spot for that team right now. And Trae Young, maybe. John Collins, not exactly. He wants out. He wants the next deal. So.
If we're the best defense in the NBA, best three-pointer team, I think we guard the three-point really well. Trae Young, all he's good for is shooting threes and, facilitating the ball. If we can stop him and stop everyone else, we're definitely winning the game.
Yeah. Now,
it's just that simple.
Let me pose this situation to you. If you had to make, or not had, but if you wanted to make a trade for a star player, it doesn't have to be Bradley Beal. Talking Zach LaVine, lower tier stars, guys on the come up. Would you be giving up all these picks? Or is it more value? It doesn't. I'm just saying for a young player. But I'm saying like a guy who's already developed, like Zach LaVine is a good example. Would you be giving up picks for him? A guy who is guaranteed a year at least, but may not stay further than that.
Of course you have to.
I wouldn't.
You can't just do players for Zach LaVine.
Are you sure, though?
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
Well, if you want to give up R.J. Barrett, who is the third pick?
Do you have to, or do you want to? Nobody wants to.
No one wants to, but the situation is that what if this is a lottery pick? If we slide out of the playoffs, fall to like 9th or 10th seed, botch the play-in tournament, which I think is still happening. I've heard rumors about it still happening, but I don't know if it's a guarantee. Is that still happening? Do you know?
I think it was. Yeah, I think it is happening.
Is it still happening?
But we're talking about Zach LaVine. If you're going to give up like a mid-first round pick, it's a good pick, but it doesn't mean it's just going to work out. They're not going to be better than Zach LaVine. So we're talking about Zach LaVine. And when we talk about maybe like top 10, yeah, it's a little risky, but again, we're talking about Zach LaVine. It's okay if it's not a top 10 pick and we're giving it up. True. So we're not talking NFL. We're not talking about a first round NFL pick, which are very valuable. We're talking about basketball. So
yeah, NBA, they have to do a better job, bro, valuing these picks. He's throwing 5-6 picks at Paul George. Like, it's just not realistic, but it happens.
Especially the Westbrook trade. Wasn't there like a bunch of picks for that too?
There's only one, I think, or two.
Or was that
the
Chris Paul one?
The Chris Paul. Well, no.
There must have been a couple in there, right?
There was an insane pick trade with like Oklahoma and someone where they gave up like a bunch.
Yeah, for Paul George. 5 first-round picks, 5 or 6 picks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Same with AD. Westbrook was 2 picks, and
for the Rockets one.
The Rockets gave up like 2 picks for Westbrook.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's why the OKC has so many picks. Or maybe it was 1. It was not a big deal. It sounded like a big deal. It wasn't. Anyway, I want to talk a little bit more about the game. You got any thoughts on Alfred Payton? Because I've been a hater of Alfred Payton. Everyone knows that. But did he underperform in the last 10 games or no?
No.
Underperform?
Yeah.
I guess. Not really.
I'd say he's playing fine.
Frustrating when he takes a bunch of shots that are just bad shots, but he's making at least 50% of them. And they're all layups practically, so.
Alfred Payton, what do you expect from him? He's not like Stephen Curry. Like, you're not gonna make everything.
It's like, well, Alfred doesn't shoot, so
he'll give you a good 8 to 12 on an average night, and if he's having a good night, maybe 15 plus, and he'll give you like maybe 5 assists, maybe more. He's an average point guard that knows how to facilitate, knows when to shoot the ball. Maybe might be a good maybe might not be a good shot, but it's just an average point guard.
Yeah,
he's not a key facilitator. More Randle is that key facilitator when they're all in the lineup, but yeah, he's a point guard, so he knows how to pass at least.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you don't expect much from him.
I have an idea.
The worst dude when he's on the floor. So.
You know how we did that YouTube clip that one time, right? About the DSJ D-Rose trade. What if we didn't? You want to do another YouTube clip right now? It's easy to do. We just got to start a new entry of our podcast right now. Y'all want to talk? All right. How about this? We'll start like right now. You good with that? I'm going to throw it at you. What do you guys think about Julius Randle sliding to center, having Nerlens Noel come off the bench and starting Obi?
No.
I say yes. Hear me out. Hear me out.
Absolutely no.
Taj Gibson played good tonight, okay? I won't deny that. But Taj Gibson at age like 36, 37, however old he is, he's not going to play that good every night. He's not going to play great defense. Some games more than others, I'm sure. His offense will at some point be inconsistent if you're making him shoot threes. You slide Obi into the starting lineup, give him some experience, give him more minutes. Slide Randle to the center, play more of a small ball thing going on. And you have coming off the bench, you still got a great bench unit. You got guys coming off the bench. You know, Taj Gibson's still coming off the bench potentially if you want to have him and Nerlens. D-Rose, Austin Rivers is always available, but you got Quickly. I say you be flexible with it. I wouldn't force it, but depending on how practices go and if Obi's overperforming, because he had 5 for 9 tonight. He missed 3 3-pointers. You know, it happens, but he had 11 points at the end of the day, plus 16, played decent defense, and only 15 minutes. So I would give him a chance.
Yeah, it's just not realistic. Especially, we just won by 22, and you can't think of thinking that a guy's not going to do something every night. You just go day by day. So I don't see it. I guess I get your point. I don't see Opie starting, by the way, just saying that too. It's just the guy gets 15 minutes. He's just going to continuously do this. I think this will be the rotation for now. It worked. Good defense. So, yeah, that's all I'm going to say. It's not going to happen. I think it's going to be Noel starting and then Taj off the bench right now.
Well, contrary to that, because it makes sense. I get it. Don't broke it. Or don't, what am I saying? Don't fix it if it ain't broke, right?
Don't break with nothing. Yeah.
Exactly. But at the end of the day, this lineup is not going to have a great game every night. Nerlens Noel had 4 fouls tonight. He did. Now, imagine he's playing a better team because Houston, they didn't have a lot of big men tonight. They had DeMarcus Cousins, and then I know most players in the NBA, but I almost have never heard of, is this the guy? Ray Spalding. I have never heard of him before. That was his assignment tonight. It is not going to happen like that every night. It just won't. I mean, we're going to talk, if you want to talk about a center coming off the bench, if you got to play the Jazz, which luckily we don't have to do again, but it's just an example. If you had to play the Jazz, you're starting out playing Rudy Gobert. Boom, you got like 3 fouls there. Let's be honest. He probably would. Maybe 2. Then, coming off the bench, you got, what's his name? He played on the Pelicans. No, not off the bench for the Knicks. For the Jazz.
For them?
I would say Royce O'Neal, but I'm so off with that.
I have no idea.
Regardless, they got another guy coming off the bench. He played with the Pelicans last year. Cannot believe I'm drawing a blank on the name. But at the end of the day, if they have a second unit coming out there that's better than the Rockets' second unit, Nerlens Noel's in serious foul trouble early in the game, we're gonna be forced to put Julius Randle at center. So I say we start Julius at center, give Nerlens Noel that first few minutes to feel out the defense from the bench, and then you put him in the game so you're not risking him fouling out early. That's my idea. Now, Obi Toppin has been a liability on defense as well, so I understand that. But if you give him the time in the games to progress it, you've only given him 15, 16 minutes a game at best. You have to play him. Derek Favors, thank you. I cannot believe I forgot that. He played on the Pelicans last year, right? But the fact, if you're going to have Derek Favors come in the game, he's pretty much at the same level, if not better than Noel. That's their second unit. So if you have Noel on Derek Favors when those subs come in, that's just a better situation for the team. You got a better strength on the bench, which is something we've proven strength in numbers this year. It's been Randle, RJ, Payton's been playing okay some games. Noel comes off the bench when Mitch isn't, when Mitch is playing. But I feel like Noel is just going to be a better bench player. He had a good game tonight. That doesn't change my mind about how he is as a starter, though. I think he fits off the bench better.
I feel like the only reason why we need to put Julius at center just temporarily is because of Mitch being out. But other than that, probably having Randle at center may not be the best for the team, but it may help, like, defense-wise, because Randle knows what to do because he's been in the league and he's smart. He knows what to do as a player, but he might not be scoring as much because of the fact that his position has changed and they might need to use a different game plan, if anything, or have Obi in the paint if he's a starting point power forward and have Randle do his thing normally, but who knows?
Well, here's what I'll say. Julius, regardless of his height, 6'8", 6'9", actually. He's in between. I think it's like 6'8.5", something like that. He is one of the strongest players in the league at the end of the day. The dude is built. He worked out in the offseason. He lost a lot of weight, gained a lot of muscle. If you want to talk about the perfect small ball center, maybe not perfect, but close to perfect, Julius Randle. And also, that gives you the ability to stretch the floor, which is something, me and Zach talked a tiny bit about in the first quarter. I said when Nerlens wasn't in the paint, and he doesn't sit on the three-point line, but when it was more of a fast break situation, RJ one-on-one in the paint, he thrived. So when you're giving RJ these looks in the paint, but he's having to worry about DeMarcus Cousins on his left and John Wall on his right, you're going to give him a lot more pressure to where he's just throwing up a bad shot compared to if you got Julius and Obi sitting in the corners and you got RJ isolating, at the top of the key, you're in just a better situation. That's my idea, but I get it if you guys are opposed to it because don't fix it if it ain't, or don't change anything. Okay, I'm not gonna say it over again and botch the phrase, but Noel playing 32 minutes, 10-6, and no assists, but you don't expect him to facilitate. But 10 and 6 is perfect for him. That's pretty much exactly what we asked Mitch to do. But it's just the depth issue. Taj Gibson won't be coming off the bench and having plus 14 every night. It just won't happen. So that's my idea of things. It was a great win tonight, though, proving to 13 and 15.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah, I just don't see it.
I think Noel's a great starter.
He's been a star in the NBA and he's got experience, so I understand the stretch thing, but I feel like that's our game plan is literally to have a center who can catch lobs, play good interior defense, no interior defense. That's like what he does, which is what Mitch has done his whole career, get a lot of blocks. So, I don't know. I get the stretch the floor thing, though, but that's completely changing our game plan.
Yeah.
I think we want to stick with the game plan we've done all year, not completely switch it just because of an injury.
Yeah, I would just encourage the more modern day style, Like, if we're talking about small ball, that's something the Rockets did last year. They had a great regular season. They didn't play great in the playoffs. It's very easy to counter. All you have to do is guard the three-point line and have a good defender on your team. Like, if you had an Eric Bledsoe in the playoffs who's defending RJ Barrett, no chance you're winning with small ball because he's just going to lock up your guy who you're playing small ball for. Like James Harden, he needed those isolation points. He needed that open lane. That's something RJ would thrive in. But that's why he's had so many bad games recently. He's been so clogged in the paint with Mitch, with Nerlens. I just think opening the floor up a little bit would change the game completely. I know the lobs, you're right, Zach, the lobs were phenomenal tonight, but then again, their defense was non-existent. So when the defense is there, we're going to have a tougher time.
In the paint.
That's true, yeah.
But we got a 70-year-old defense-oriented traditional coach, so we got to keep that in mind, too.
Yeah.
What the Knicks' plans are.
I just think I got to say, it's disrespectful if you look at the stat sheet. Taj played 16 minutes. Obi played 15 minutes. That's the 8th pick in the draft. You got to play him more minutes. I don't care if he shoots 1 for 10 from 3. At least he shot 10 threes. The dude hasn't even taken... maybe I'm wrong. He might have. He probably has. Has he taken 10 shots in a game this year? Legitimate question. No. It's not fair. If he's taking 9 shots, Alfred Payton's taking 11 shots. I mean, really? Where's the coaching? It doesn't make sense to me. I think Tom Thibodeau this year has been a guy who's taught them very well in practice, given them a great playbook, and then just went idle. Like, he has his minute sheet, says Obi gets 15, Peyton gets 30, whatnot. in blowouts and stuff like that, and he just sticks to it. And I think he's got to be more of a eyes-looking coach. Look how the game's playing. If Obi's playing well, you play him more minutes. If Alfred's not playing well, don't play him at all. But he hasn't done that this year. So he needs to start changing his philosophy a little bit.
Yeah, he does it with Quickly a little, though. If Quickly's having an amazing game, he's not pulling Quickly. So
yeah, well, 21 minutes on a really good game is just not... It's disrespectful. Quickly played less minutes than Alfred Payton still. And I get it. D. Rose, he has to get minutes now. Austin Rivers isn't getting minutes anymore. But I would definitely have rather had Quickly play the shooting guard position than Alec Burks tonight in the lineup. If we're talking about starters, it just doesn't make sense. Because if you're having, regardless whether you're starting Quickly, having him off the bench, he's going to get the same minutes most likely. But you have Alec Burks starting at the 2. Okay? I get it. You want the defense. I understand. He's kind of a catch and shoot. If he gets hot, he's there. He went 1 for 7 tonight. He didn't have a great first quarter as it is. Why are you not playing him? Why are you playing him more minutes than Quickly? It just doesn't make sense to me. I don't get it.
I think Taj needs to start teaching Obi a lot of things in order for Obi to learn and in order for Obi to play the role he needs to play on the team. Because if Taj is getting 16 and Obi's getting 15, obviously something's wrong. So if Taj teaches Obi what to do and how to do it
defensively,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Defensively and maybe offensively in the post, I feel like Obi's minutes is going to go from 15 to 20.
I agree. I think if there's more mentorship, like Derrick Rose coming to the team, the reason that I wanted Derrick Rose on this team was mentorship. And surprisingly enough, not even surprising, I pretty much knew it would happen. When the trade happened, Derrick Rose, one of the first statements he made, I'm here to help the team. I'm here to help the young guys. He takes Quickly and Obi. He goes out to dinner with them. He says, listen, if you guys need anything, call me. Gives them his number. And then boom. It's just that simple. It's something that happened for generations in the NBA where the young guys are taught by the older guys, and that's how the game progresses. And it's just something that Taj needs to maybe, you're right, teach Obi some stuff. Obi, being a lackluster defender hasn't been great. I think we can all agree there. Taj being one of the better defenders back in his day. I think there's a lot of strategy that can be taught to Obi and could help him out with his minutes.
Yeah. But Taj is only getting minutes because
of the injury. Exactly.
So,
but that's...
I get the comparing with the minutes, but he's only here to play a 5. So it's like Nerlens Noel off the bench, which he's probably getting less than Nerlens did. I think Nerlens got over 20, even off the bench. So
yeah,
I don't like to think of the comparisons of minutes. I get it, but I don't really like it because we need to at least both our 5s to play when Mitch is out. So.
Well, that's the thing, though, is that there's a solution to Taj playing 16 minutes. It's sliding Julius to center. And we did see in preseason it did work. You put Julius at the 5, you put Obi at the 4, and even if you don't want to play Obi, if Obi's having a bad night, you still can put Taj at center, move Julius to the 4, whatnot. That's very interchangeable, right? But at the end of the day, if Obi, our 8th pick in the draft, scores 11 points on 15 minutes, and he doesn't have nights like that every night. Sometimes he'll have 4 points on 15 minutes. But if you give him 20 minutes, you can't sub him in for 3-4 minute spurts and expect him to get warmed up. It just doesn't work like that. That's not how basketball has ever worked. LeBron James can go in a game, and he can get going. It may take him 5 or 6 minutes, though, to get his first points. Because it's LeBron James. I get it. As good as he is, it takes time. And Obi is not given time. So it just frustrates me when people on Twitter, they go and say, why is Obi playing so bad? What a bust, this and that, and all that other stuff. It's the coaching. If the coaching changes, Obi's game changes. That's my philosophy, and that's why I say Obi should be starting.
That's true. Yeah. Only if you move Randle to 5, like you said.
Yeah. Because Randle has to start.
I don't even have to say that.
Randle has to start. And I've also said, and I don't know if it probably fits way better if Obi just sits at the power forward still, but if you don't want to play small ball and you want to play tall ball, then you put Obi at the 3. But he's not shooting well, so it just doesn't make sense, and he's not a great defender. So why would you put him at the 3? It's just not a good matchup,
Yeah.
Guarding the Kevin Durant's of the world at the 3. right? Actually, no. Julius would probably be on KD. I'm just saying superstar players, though. The Jason Tates of the league could still give Obi a hard time, though, on the perimeter. So he hasn't been great this year.
Yeah.
I really like our bench, though. I like the depth that we have on our bench.
Yeah, no, I think it's
I
good.
don't mind that OP, even if, I don't know, I like what we're doing right now. I don't care if he starts, or even quickly. I don't mind if he doesn't start, as long as he's in the bench unit, getting good minutes. Which he's not getting great minutes, but everything.
You know what I want to see more of? I want to see Kevin Knox play more. I know he's inconsistent, and I know that came out of nowhere. But he did play in garbage minutes, and he had that steal. Now, I know it doesn't mean everything. It wasn't a great pass. It was a cross-court pass. But the fact that he was trying that hard does show that he has heart and he wants to play. So I would say if you give him 5-6 minutes to at least prove himself in non-garbage minutes, I think that's fair. If you get him out there, he's hot to start. Maybe you can slide him to the 3 if RJ's not having a great game, because that's been the trend lately. I'd give Knox a chance. Because I think
he's got great potential.
He does. It's true. I don't want to say that he has no potential and then trade him to Chicago or something, and then he has a 20-point per game season. Like, I just don't want that to happen. And I think the reason that's not happening is because he's just not getting a chance. He didn't even get a chance to start the year. He never started, came off the bench getting limited minutes, played the garbage minutes. And Alec Burks, that's why I've said we should trade Alec Burks, at the beginning of the year, and then I realized we're actually good. And then now it's kind of slid more of a rebuilding situation to a playoff contending situation where now guys like Austin Rivers, who we signed and expected to play a good amount of minutes, aren't getting minutes because the Derrick Rose trade. Kevin Knox isn't getting many minutes. Obi, the idea was to trade Randle and give him minutes at the beginning of the year. And then Randle went out and proved himself. So that changed everything. And then, the things have been changing so fast with this Knicks team, I can't even keep up myself. I can't keep up.
Yeah, it's just crazy.
I just have the only problem that I've said with Kevin Knox. Sorry, I'll let you go. My only problem with Kevin Knox is the only thing he can do is shoot in the corners and threes in the corners, not mid range. Nothing from the wings. He just struggles from everywhere else but the corners, and he hits the corner threes. But if he's able to shoot everywhere around consistently, that's why I said he has great potential. Because I like his shot. It's just he's just very inconsistent from everywhere else but the corner threes. But yeah, that's why I said I'd love to see him play if he could do everything else. Mm-hmm. At least make them more consistently than literally just miss every shot. So I feel like it's a miss unless it's a corner 3. It's just a miss.
Mm-hmm.
What happened to Reggie?
Yeah, he hasn't been playing amazing. He had some good games here and there. He starts every game, which makes sense to me. I get it. He's a veteran. Yeah, he starts every game. He starts at the small forward. RJ's been starting the shooting guard, but that's been changing all year.
Alec Burks isn't starting, is he?
No. Alec Burks is off our bench every game.
Is he a guard or is he a forward?
He's a guard.
Okay, so I say we have Knox start in replace of Reggie just to see how it goes. And I feel like it may not go as planned, but I feel like it should go good. Because if you give him a chance, he'll probably shoot a good 2 or 3 3-pointers, maybe make 1 or 2, give himself 3 to 6 points, prove himself, and then you give him more minutes, make him, train him to shoot from everywhere else. I feel like he's a very, very, very low, like sort of like a shadow of KD, but very, very slight. Very slight.
No, I mean, he did get compared by some people to Kevin Durant on draft night. I understand the comparison. Tall guy.
Build, yeah.
He can handle the ball. He's got a similar build. He's a little bigger than KD was. But he can shoot the 3 ball. And the main issue, inconsistencies. That's been something his entire career that he has not been able to fix, which is why people call him a bust, rightfully so. If you're going to have good games here and there, you're a bust. It's just that simple. Josh Jackson is a bust because he's had a decent season in Detroit, but he's super inconsistent. It's exactly the same situation with Kevin Knox. But kind of addressing like what you said there, Anthony, with the Reggie not starting, I get it. I understand the frustrations with Knox not getting a chance, but I think the only chance Knox will get to get 10, 15 minutes in a start is if Alec and Reggie are hurt. Like, I would love to see him get a chance, but if me like what Zach was saying, I agree that Thibodeau wouldn't change the lineup. I get it; it makes sense. But if Thibodeau did change the lineup, I would love to see Randle move to center, Obi power forward, and I agree with Zach in that he wouldn't change it. I don't think he will.
I would love to see Alfred, Barrett, Knox, Obi, Randle, starting 5.
That's a tough lineup. I don't know about that.
I think it's a good starting 5.
The bench depth is going to be crazy if that's the starting 5. The bench may even be just as good as the starters.
And if you're giving Austin Rivers minutes, you could put Derrick Rose as the point guard off the bench. Austin Rivers is a shooting guard off the bench.
Well, what about Quickly then?
Alec Burks. Quickly is definitely coming off the bench. We'll probably, I don't know. I don't think Austin Rivers might not get as many minutes because of Derrick Rose. Because then we might have Quickly coming off the bench in replace of Austin Rivers. So it'd be Derrick Rose, Quickly, and so on and so forth. But I feel like that would be a good, depth situation.
I think you got the right idea.
Because you're having a good starting lineup. Randle's probably not going to be subbed out after they do subs. So it's probably going to have Alfred Payton now and RJ out, and then you'll put Derrick Rose and Quickly with Randle and all of them, and I feel like it's just going to be a good rotation.
I think that really comes down to Thibodeau, because I don't think it would happen. Obviously, it's a fan's dream to see all the young players thriving and starting together, but with the politics in the NBA, if Julius Randle is starting at center, Reggie, if he's coming off the bench, if Nerlens coming off the bench, if Alfred's coming off the bench, it just makes you look like a bad coach because it also shows that you're not playing the older guys, the experienced ones, and you're playing the youth more minutes. So I understand where Tibbs is coming from when he you have to understand also, and I just, I think about a lot of these things on the spot, but a lot of the reasons Tibbs makes the substitutions he makes is for his own personal gain. You don't want to get fired if you're an NBA coach. Scott Brooks doesn't want to get fired, so he plays Bradley Beal 40 minutes a game because Bradley Beal is the best and only player on that entire Washington team that can play. And that's why it's such a shame when he rests, because the Wizards, they look like a train wreck when they don't have their best player. Just like if we lost Julius or something, what is Tibbs going to do? It's a good question. But I don't know. I feel like he's willing to start Obi if Julius.
I think if Julius got hurt, because who else is going to play the 4?
I think he would move Taj there. I think he would move Taj there instead of Julius. I don't know.
Or Noel.
No, Noel couldn't start at the 4.
Noel would play it. Yeah, no, that would never happen.
I think he'd just better off the bench if Mitch is healthy. We're just talking about hypotheticals, obviously, but it just doesn't make sense for Noel to start at the 4 because he doesn't have a 3-point shot, whereas Taj does. Taj has a better 3-point shot than Obi. And that's just because of experience and, trainers. But Obi Toppin, coming in the league at 22 years old, needs to have a 3-point shot. He's at that age now where it's like, okay, well, we expected you to be a finished product. What more do we have to do with you to have you ready?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, he was a corner shooter in college. Same exact shot, pretty much. Except, is the corner in the NBA deeper than in college?
I think so.
I cannot believe it altered his shot that. That's unreal. Because he's had such a bad year from 3-point shooting. And it's crazy to me because I expected in the draft, there's all these highlights. And obviously they don't show the lowlights. But there's all these highlights of him hitting these corner threes and doing these crazy athletic dunks, which is still in his package. He can do that. But he's not hitting the 3-pointers he was hitting in college, the open ones. And it's just, I don't know if it's more of a confidence issue or I don't know what's going on, but it's got to get cleaned up as soon as possible if you want to win basketball games and if you want to get minutes. But
it could be anything. It could be a confidence issue. I don't know if he came off the bench in college ever.
No.
Could be that. Could be anything. But usually a bench doesn't affect anybody that much. So I would think it would make you better sometimes.
And if he doesn't figure out something by this year, even more people and more fans and more analysts are just going to keep calling him a bust because of his age and how he's playing. He should be knowing what to do at this point. And if he doesn't figure it out this year, it's just not going to go good.
You're right. I think Kevin Knox, he was the 8th pick, right? 9th? I don't know.
Yeah, I think they're on there.
He was around that. He was around that area. It was close to that. But the issue is that he was so young. He was 18, so we said, okay, he's a project, and he still is. The kid's like 21 years old, and we've already given up on him. He's younger than Obi. That's what I just don't understand about the Knicks organization. I have done my fair share of trash talking to Kevin Knox, fairly enough though, because he's had bad games. But if you're not going to give him a chance, we're not going to be giving him props, because why would we? He's not playing. So give him more of a chance. Give Obi more of a chance. You may have 2 studs. Just, you never know.
You never know until you teach them.
Yeah. There's never going to be a game where Knox or Obi get 30 minutes. Never. Not right now. Not this year.
Especially not with RJ and all the players that we have on the team right now.
Well, just position fit wise. Like, if the Knicks fall out of the playoffs, we lose the next 10 games, let's say. Just for lulz. We lose next 10 games. And they say, listen, it's not working. As much as we wanted to make a playoff push, the media was going for it. Randle, you have such good trade value right now, we have to throw you in a trade. They trade Randle away. Boom, Obi starts. That's how this current NBA is going to be working. And, I mean, what do you guys think about that? Like, do you trade Randle if you lose the next 10 games? Do you?
No.
This year? No.
What? If you lose the next 10 games?
No, because as we were talking about earlier about trades with like Zach LaVine and Bradley Beal, if we do potentially get one of those types of trades going, even if it's not Zach LaVine or Bradley Beal, if it's someone on some like other team that has the same skill set, even better, who are we gonna put with them? Like, we won't have Randle to duo with them because we don't have a forward that's as good as him. He's gone. Like, it's just gonna be a useless trade at that point. And if we don't have Randle on our team, I don't think it's gonna be. I think it's just gonna go downhill from there.
Well, here's my idea. Okay, and it's because I agree with you that Randle is the key piece to this team right now. But I'm saying if we, as the Knicks, are 12 games under 500, we have our lottery pick, and Julius Randle is performing the same level he is, and we still lose this next 10 games, why would we keep him? We have Obi. We have Knox. We have young guys. Julius Randle is in his prime right now. We're going to get the most out of him. He's on a good deal, too. So teams are gonna bite. Playoff teams are interested.
He'd have to fall off drastically
To even lose 10 games. I don't even think that's going to happen.
I don't even think it's realistic to even say we're going to lose 10 straight. So, I don't know. He's got to fall off massively.
We can't just gamble on trading away Randle and then hoping Obi or Knox is going to do good. We're just saying that if we teach them and they have the potential, and obviously they do have the potential, but who knows if they're going to use that potential to their best, interest. They might not be as good as we might think they will be if we train them and if we teach them. So trading Julius away and saying that we might teach Obi these things and that he's going to be a good starter is not a guarantee until we actually find out what actually happens.
No, I got you on that. I get it. If Julius, I'm just saying, you're right. He would have to underperform drastically. And that would also lower his trade value. But it's always hypotheticals. We're just talking. We're throwing stuff out there. Why not?
Yeah, exactly.
There's really not much to talk about after we blew the Rockets out by 22 points, right? So it's like, may as well throw out some hypotheticals for fun. But I think it's an appropriate time to end the podcast. We went a little over an hour, almost an hour and 10 minutes. My God. Time flies.
Just 16 minutes. Good.
My God, it's 11:41 at night on a Saturday. I have a driver's ed class tomorrow.
Nice. First one?
You know it.
Oh, that's
It just shows how young we are. It's just such a shame. Young Knick fans about to get crushed by this trashy franchise.
so dreams.
It's exactly what's going to happen.
Hopes and dreams down the drain.
You know it. We can say we're going to make the playoffs, and you have to understand we're going to get swept by the Sixers in the first round. Joel Embiid's going to drop 40 every night on Mitch's head.
That's Knicks make the playoffs. Who cares?
You have to understand, it's the best case scenario that we get swept.
Upsets are possible. I don't care.
The Knicks would be a playoff team.
I don't care if it's Joel Embiid or if it's Giannis Antetokounmpo. Upsets are possible. If we can beat if we can beat the reigning MVP Giannis and their full healthy Bucks team by what, like 20? Who says we can't beat the Sixers?
No, you're right, but we have lost to the Sixers, so just watch what you say about that.
Fine by me. Fine by me. They should be beating us. They should be beating us. But here's the thing. We have the best defense in the league. What if we show out? What if we do make the playoffs? What if we are the 8th seed and we go against the Sixers or the Bucks and we show out and we give them like a good 5-game, 6-game series? That's good enough for me.
No, it's good for me too. I agree. I think this team gives me mad Clipper vibes, like 2018-19 Clippers, right? When they had to go take, was it 19? No, it was 18-19, right? When Kawhi, I'm sorry, was it 1920? It was when Kawhi was on the Raptors. Then.
Yeah. So
1920.
1920, right? So that was really not that long ago. But this gives me mad Clipper vibes. We got good chemistry on this team. We're fighting. We're right in the playoffs, right in that area. And we can give good teams work. I mean, there's some teams like the Pistons that give the good teams work, but for some reason just can't get it done against the trashy teams. But we do both. We can give every team work. We always have it as a competitive game. We got blown out like once or twice this entire year, and that happens to the best teams in the league sometimes too. For God's sake, we blew out the Bucks our second game of the year. It was the third game? Something like that. It wasn't the first.
First couple games, yeah.
First couple games. Blow out the Bucks by like 30. That happens. Thanasis thought he was big or something. Remember when he flexed? After like punching someone? Yeah, like punched someone in the face 40. And he thought he was cool for it or something. Yeah. But I think it's a good time to end the stream. This is fun talking Knicks. I always like talking Knicks.
Of course.
We got 7 concurrent viewers. Welcome. If you got anything to add in the chat, look at that. Because someone in the chat, Kid Lamar, should we trade for Bamba?
Yes, sir.
Mo Bamba. You know, that's actually not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea.
I was thinking of it as like a joke, but that's not a bad piece.
Well, it depends what you got to give up, right? We could always throw up the trade finder, right?
I think we could give up Nerlens Noel and Taj.
Okay, dream. Anyway.
What do you think?
I'm sorry.
Has he been good this year?
Mo Bamba, it's not his fault. It's not his fault.
Okay, minutes.
He doesn't get minutes, no, because they got Vucevic on that team.
Exactly.
Kid Lamar, you a Magic fan? You a Knicks fan? Because I know Mo Bamba, that's been a rumor. He's got a lot of potential. He had a lot of potential out of college. He was one of those guys that was either it or not it. I know he's only averaging 5.2 points, 3 rebounds, and 0.4 assists this year, and that's really not something you want to trade for sometimes, but it's the youth factor. We got Connor joining the chat.
I was playing 2K, and I was I had Bobo on my team. He averaged 25 and 15. So anything's possible.
Okay, but Bobo.
Anything's possible. Anything's possible.
But if legitimately, if you're talking about making a trade for Mo Bamba, which I think he is available, it would make sense if he's available. What are you giving up? Because I'd give up. I think it's fair to say I'd give up Noel just so they can fit that second centerpiece. And I think it's good to also give up some sort of pick because he's a youth player. I'd give up a second.
I'd say like a round. Yeah, second round pick.
But that's all I would do. And I think that in itself is expensive for Mo Bamba due to the fact he just hasn't been playing great throughout his career, but it's also a lack of minutes. Knicks fan, but he needs a new environment, I believe. No, that's true. He does. You can't be sitting behind one of the best centers in the NBA and expect to get minutes. It's just not how, and especially with Steve Clifford as that. Is Steve Clifford still the coach of that Magic team? I think he is. But if he is, that's the real issue. Because Steve Clifford, he's one of those, he's kind of reminds me of Tom Thibodeau in the way he's more of a old-fashioned coach that plays the back-to-the-basket bigs like Vucevic, and he's not going to give Mo Bamba a chance. So giving him a new environment is always fair. And they finesse a second-round pick out of it. They get a legitimate player in Nerlens Noel if they're trying to make the playoff push. And we get to develop more young talent in Mo Bamba. He comes off our bench, kind of helps our center troubles a little bit because he can still block shots. He's a tall dude, long wingspan. There's a lot of potential there. He was great in college.
Good, especially if we had him right now. Definitely be helpful.
Did he play for Texas? Texas Tech?
Yep, Texas.
Texas. Yeah, there's always potential with those Texas players. Didn't Kevin Durant play there, Texas?
Yes, he did.
Hey, get those Kevin Durant
Marcus
vibes.
Aldridge, Avery Bradley, I want to say. They have a couple NBA players.
Jackson Hayes.
Couple legit.
Jackson Hayes now.
Oh, Jackson Hayes. He's a guy who, honestly, I would love to trade for, but I don't think he's being shopped by the Pelicans. I wouldn't shop him if I was the Pelicans. I could see him at some point being traded. Mo Bamba, though, I think that's definitely an option. There's plenty of trade options for the Knicks. Let's not get ourselves tripping. Like, the Knicks could. There's always rumors. Like trading for Kawhi Leonard may be a rumor at some point. I'm not saying we would not trade for Kawhi Leonard. I'm just saying that's something the media will say. They'll say everything. It just gets a lot of clicks. That's why we are Knicks4Clicks.
For clicks.
Look at that. Look at that. It fits.
Here we go.
But you know what? I would really not mind having Mo Bamba on this team, especially at a low price. Like, you may even honestly get lucky enough to just have to give up a second, but I doubt that. I think you're going to have to give up Nerlens as well. It just won't cost that much.
It's one of those 1-for-1 deals plus something else just to make him happy.
Exactly, right. Because they wouldn't do Nerlens for Mo Bamba. Wouldn't make sense. Now, that second-round pick, though, that may get them going. Because all we had to give up for D Rose, I know it's different teams, different franchises, different GMs, but we only had to give up a G League player in the second-round pick. So...
Exactly.
Dennis Smith, the G League god. He didn't even get to play a team for the Knicks G League. You know that?
Is he going to be on the team for Detroit? Is he going to go straight to the D League?
I think he should be on the team. He hasn't played yet. I looked it up today. I was curious. I want to see if he's thriving in Detroit yet, but I haven't seen anything. I don't know. You know, he didn't even get his first scrimmage in with the Westchester Knicks before we traded him away.
Oh.
I guess. Well, at the end of the day, what if he had a bad G League debut? What would that have said? They would have probably not. They probably wouldn't have pulled the trigger. Are you sure?
Yeah, he had to do something.
He
probably would have gone a good 35 minutes, 20-something points. You have to.
Miles
He
Powell.
NBA talent. I would have cut Miles Powell's minutes. So.
Miles Powell got 39 minutes in his G League debut. Dropped 22 and 9.
Are they
Not bad.
48-minute games?
Yeah.
Okay. That's pretty good. That's really good.
I know. Pretty nice to see. And he came off the bench.
Yeah. Wow.
Good game.
So they just put him in like after 5 minutes. And
See,
just play the whole game?
that's my ideal Quickly situation, though. That's the ideal Quickly. We got Alfred playing 5 minutes to start the game, right? And then boom, Quickly just plays the next 40. Boom, we're all good.
It's ridiculous.
Yes, sir. I like the idea of trading for Mo Bamba. I don't know. I haven't really watched him though. You know, I haven't seen.
Well, he's not getting minutes.
I just know he's not getting minutes. Yeah, there's no way he's getting 10 minutes a game. And if he gets 10 minutes a game and does that, there's a lot of potential. Thoughts on the possibility of overalls making a comeback? Is that some sort of fashion question?
He's talking about like the denim overalls, like the stuff you put over your shoulders. Like
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought he was asking. You know, Connor, I think you should probably go to a different live stream to get that question answered for you. But there's always a chance. Thoughts on Frank? We need to trade some point guard. Oh, wait, we need to trade some PG River. You know, I love Frank, okay? I've been open about that. I think he's a really good player. I think a good defensive player. Emphasis on defensive player. Because his offense has never really been there. That's a fact. And I think that there's always a chance that he gets traded. I don't think that he's going to be on the team much longer. And I don't think it's his fault. Just the fact that he's fallen out of the rotation already at this point probably screams him and Knox are going to be gone soon. But, you know, Rivers, he probably won't be on the roster for much longer. I know contenders are really interested in his $3 million a year contract. Or I'm sorry, wait. Was it $3 million for 3 years? I keep getting so confused about that, dude.
Yeah, I think it's $9 million for 3 years.
It's so cheap. It's crazy. And then Alfred Payton, he's honestly, I've expressed in a lot of past live streams, I said cut Alfred Payton. Because we don't need him on this team. But that'll never happen because the Knicks are stubborn and they love veteran players who don't know how to make layups. It's just that simple. But Frank Ntilikina, great defender. He's a guy who I think won't be in the league for much longer. I think he'll probably make his way to the EuroLeague, maybe make a comeback. That's just my predictions. He could definitely have a good year. Like I've compared him to Chris Dunn. Like Chris Dunn, he gets signed by mediocre teams. Like he got signed by the Hawks. You know, Chris Dunn backing up Trae Young. It makes sense. a good defending point guard versus a bad defending point guard who comes off the bench, plays good defense. But I think Frank, that's going to be his role throughout the rest of his career. I just don't think his offense will get going. I don't know. What do you guys got to say about it? I don't want to be the only one who answers the question.
I feel like you answered it greatly. I think he played a good preseason, and he played decent at the beginning of the year, but yeah, exactly what you said. His offense is not great, but
Yeah.
he's very good at defense. So
I see him as like the next up and coming Patrick Beverly.
Patrick Beverly.
Yeah.
Patrick Beverly can't do anything, though.
Maybe he'll improve his defense.
I don't know.
Pat Bev is known for like his clamp up defense, and I know it's just overhyping it, but Patrick Beverly has had some good defensive plays in his career, so I feel like he'll become a good defender, but nowhere near like the offensive asset in his career.
But here's the thing. I got to say something about that, because I just want to make sure that you understand Patrick Beverly. That dude is such a fake. He acts like he's good, but all he does is like kick people and push people, and they call him a good defender, call him a dog because he does that. That is called a technical foul. That is not a good defensive player. He'd be a great player in the streets of Detroit if he was playing some pickup basketball. But in the NBA, I don't like him. I think he's on a terrible contract. 3 years, $40 million for Patrick Beverly. Worst contract in the league, almost.
that's terrible.
Throughout the season so far, who has made the best improvements from last year? Throughout the league. That's a good question. Well, if we're talking about the most improved player, I'd say Christian Wood. I think it's in between him and Jeremy Grant. He said throughout the season so far, who has made the best improvements from last year? Why am I so stupid? No, you're right. I bet he's talking about the Knicks. There's obviously Julius Randle. You're right.
Yeah.
It's not even close.
There's nobody else. No one's
But
close.
If
you wanted
It's just Julius.
to say the league, you could. It'd probably be a good one too.
Yeah. Well, throughout the league, it's definitely one of the two. Jeremy Grant or Christian Wood. Not that Julius Randle isn't one of the most improved players, because he is. I'm just talking about the top two.
Did Christian Wood play tonight?
No, he actually sprained his ankle. So, and him and Victor Oladipo didn't play.
No wonder why we won.
They won by almost. Well, not almost. We won by like 20-something.
I'd say we'd have some trouble if Christian Wood was playing, knowing that he's a big dog on the paint. And he's a center, so. I feel like maybe we'd have a little bit of struggle in the paint, but.
I think there's definitely, in my opinion, Christian Wood's a legitimate player. Okay, I'm not gonna act like if they had him tonight we would have lost though, because I definitely think that at the end of the day, Christian Wood, one of the best players, he's averaging 22 a game, I think, something like that.
Yeah.
So he's good, but nice comparison on Patrick. He puts the effort on defense. But yeah, that contract was, it was just, the contract was disgusting. I don't understand. Like 3 years, $40 million. I get Frank Ntilikina being one of the better defensive players, but like he gives the effort. The effort is there with Patrick too. I just think he's not nearly as good of a defender as someone like Chris Dunn or a Patrick Beverly, or Patrick Beverly, or a Frank Ntilikina. I just don't think he's going to be that good. Patrick Beverly. But he's even proven this season. He's just not an offensive player. Like, what is he averaging this year? I really am curious. Or has he been hurt? Because I haven't heard anything about him.
3 to 6, I'd guess. 3 to 6.
Wow.
What?
Well, that says, I think it's career averages. So,
Yeah.
this year he's averaging, 3.5 fouls a game? That's not good. But he's averaging almost 8 points a game. It's pretty much what he's averaged consistently throughout his career. So I get that. But then again, they also have a lot of scoring load when you look at Kawhi and Paul George. Paul George has been out for a while, but that doesn't change the fact that Patrick Beverly is just not that good. Anyway, he's played every game this year. He's averaging 24.5 minutes a game on 8 points. That's just not that good to me. I don't know. And what is his percentage? He's shooting 40 from the field, so it's not impressive.
You might as well just hand out $1 million to everyone you see on the street.
Okay. And he's shooting, what is he shooting from the free throw line? My eyes are just not good with these small stat boxes. And I don't even think anyone on the stream can see it. I better zoom in.
Yeah.
But look, then they got this ad in my face. This is why I don't like these sites. You get it. He's shooting, what is he shooting from the free throw line? Oh, 76. Don't know on what sample size, but free throw attempts. He's averaging about 1 free throw attempt a game, closer to that. But I think I really appreciate everyone for joining. But we've been live for an hour and 30 minutes almost. I think time flies even faster now. It was just an hour and 10 minutes not that long ago. Now it's almost an hour and 30. So I really love talking about the Knicks, though. They're so much fun to talk because there's always something to talk about because there's always a rumor that comes out. We can always address it and stuff, but it's just chill to talk about. I appreciate everyone who came in the stream, talked about it. The overalls comment, not sure about that one, though. That may be a little off. And I also think that they're never coming back, Connor. I don't think that never again.
Never. Don't ever ask that again.
But I think something I have to pull up before the stream is over. Wait, no, actually. Where is it?
9 viewers, bro.
Oh, wow.
Yo, what's up? Welcome to the stream, y'all.
Did anyone advertise?
Really, no. It's really not a phenomenal time for me to end the stream, is it? 9 viewers joining up. But I will pull up one more thing. If anyone's in the chat and they're interested in commenting, I need opinions. Okay? Is this drip or nah? Walt Clyde Frazier. Is that drip?
Sir.
Is that drip? I don't know. It's a good question. We got Anthony saying yes. Got me saying yes.
See the colors. That's pink, purple,
No,
gray.
yeah. Listen. It's modern on an older dude. That's the thing. That's what makes it unique. That's what makes it drip. Zach says no. Walt Clyde Frazier.
I feel like
Goat
if someone
commentator.
says yes, they're joking.
No one is joking about this.
No one says yes unless they're joking. That's all I'm gonna say.
That is ridiculous.
Like I said before,
Disrespect.
I looked at the shirt. I see stripe. I see like a nice pennant shirt. Like, okay. Then I look at the suit. I'm like, ugh, that's worse. Then I look at the tie, and I'm like, that's the worst thing.
Oh,
So,
come
progressively
on.
It got worse as I looked at each piece of what he was.
Connor said drip.
Connor said drip. I'm
That's
saying.
joking.
Nah, it's drip. It's drip.
He also called me tasty, and he said that's about overall. So,
It's drip, bro. I don't know. Zach, it's 3-1 right now. It's 3-1. Clyde got the drip.
Zach, I don't know.
The tenacious drip. His vocabulary.
Last time I remember learning ratios, 3-1 is the winning one. You know.
It is the winning one. I don't know how serious any of the 3
Actually,
votes were.
if you want to count what Evan said
That was
earlier,
the only one that was serious.
it's 4-1 if you want to count what Evan said earlier. I'm
was
just
joking.
saying. I don't think he's joking. I think that's
Yeah.
drip.
4 jokes and 1
Oh.
serious.
Even Connor said drip in the chat too.
Again, I think he was joking.
All right.
No.
Well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to call it a stream now as much as I really want to keep talking about Knicks because it's over 12 at night.
So 90 minutes.
Getting quite late. Don't have any work to do, homework or anything. I just, I'm tired. I don't know how we're able to talk for an hour and 30 minutes like this. I get it, but my God, this is tough. But I'll play to celebrate good times because we won. We won tonight. That's got to be a ritual. You know that? I know you can't hear it, so it's such a bummer. We gotta make sure you can hear it.
I'll turn up the volume on. I'm watching this. I can hear it.
It wouldn't work. I have to change everything and stuff.
No, just get like Bluetooth speakers or something. And play
Oh,
on
yeah.
your phone.
It's a good point. I think we'll do that. I think we'll do that. And more
Always
official
have it on the
ending.
ready. Always have it on the ready and be like, you already know what time it is, and then boom, plays.
You know it. Let's hope I don't get a YouTube ad. Alright, guys. I think it's a good time to end the stream now. It's been fun. You know it.
Copyright strike.
I don't even care. Alright, guys. Goodbye now. It's been a good stream. Goodbye.